everybody. Hello, everybody. Good evening. All right. What's up? So, we're going to talk about community today. You saw there was misspelling there in the community. So, my assistant. Just kidding. So, who here do volunteer work? Raise your hand. Go ahead. Don't be shy, people. Don't be shy. Keep your hand up. You do. Come on, lady. Raise your hand, man. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Let me see. You do. Everybody does, right? Yeah. Okay. Why? Why do we do community work? To get back to the community. Anybody else? Makes you feel good. Nick, give me something powerful. Huh? Now, come on. All right, what else? Huh? To be together. Here we go. That's good. All right. You want to? No? Okay. To help? Okay. All righty. Okay. That's good. But community work is not the reason you guys mentioned here. But before you went for that reason, there was something way powerful behind that. But because we are too focused in society, we never analyze the real reason we do the community work. And we're going to go through some slides here just to see how community work is important, okay? And then we're going to touch base, what is this work and the importance of community in our lives. There was this universalist in Canada. I always forget his name. Oh my God, I hate myself. But the thing is, he one of the greatest guy that I ever studied spirituality with is this Canadian guy. And he's very, very deep, very powerful in his teaching. And one thing that he says, a phrase that I always remember that he said it is that when a person, now focus on what I'm going to say, when a person has nothing, no higher reason, this person will focus in family, nation, and work. Understood what he said? All right. When a person has no higher reason, this person will focus on family, nation, and work. Understood?
That's the material part.
You did not understand?
I say when it's nothing important, then it's more important than that.
See, look, the question is this. What he wants to mean is when a person do not see herself as part of the whole, she's going to focus on three things. The family, the nation, and the work, and the job. Okay? Why? What is the three only things we focus in our lives today? Family, nation, and work. Right? Everybody does that. Right? Everybody. But tell me, what is those three things has anything to do after you die? Does your family is going to make any difference? Does your nation is going to do any difference? Does your work is going to do any difference? So nothing that you're concerning here, it does not matter. So when you don't have a higher reason to focus, you focus in family, nation, and work. What is the higher reason? That's what we're going to see today. What is the higher reason, people? What is the higher reason that this universalist, that I forgot his name right now, but I'm going to tell you this name because I want you guys to watch his videos. And he died in the 70s. But he was absolutely amazing, very deep in spirituality, and he made a lot of sense. So that's what we're going to go over here. The higher reason that no one knows what it is. Do you? Do you? What is the higher reason over those three things that we talked about? Why we have conflict in the world today? Because of nation, right? I want to defend my nation. I want to defend my culture. I want to defend the things that I think is right. Wars, right? I defend my family because my family is the most important thing in my life, right? Isn't your family the most important thing in your life? What about other people's family? Is not also important? See? Exactly. It's good to be sincere. See? And your job, right? Does his job matter for you? What it matters for you is your job. Your family matters to you? Yes. Other people's family matter to you? No. As long as your family is okay. And if your nation is thriving and is going the way that you want it and that you believe is go, you're happy. Right or wrong, people? Or am I wrong? Right. Am I wrong? No. Right. Go ahead, keep saying. Right? Who here love this country? Yeah? You shouldn't. Who here love Brazil? You shouldn't. Who here love Mexico? You shouldn't. See? Why? Because you're going to die one day and you're going to be born in Iran. And then all this love that you put in here, everything that you defend daily, okay? That you thought it was right, that you killed, you went to war for, because you're going to be born right in Kimbanku, right? In the middle of nowhere, with no name, no job, no family, no nation. See? But we don't see it this way, right? Why we don't see it this way? Because you do not believe that you're going to be born someplace else after you die. Because you do not believe that life continues after death. You do not. None of you do. Nobody do. Because if they did, they would not live a life believing in family, nation, and work. Sorry to break that to you. Every time I speak here is a horror movie, right? Huh? Controversy, right, Nick? That's my middle name and last. But the thing is, if we don't face these controversies, if we don't ask questions, if we don't face ourselves, we're going to continue on this. Then you're going to be born in Iran, right? You're going to love Iran. You're going to defend Iran, right? The same way you did when you live in Brazil. And then you're going to die again. Then you're going to be born in China. Then you're going to defend China. You're going to love China. And then you die in this and this and this and this. Because you did not get it the right reason why you're here. The higher reason that the universalist from Canada talks about. And that's the importance of community. What is community? What is the higher reason? What is community? To commune. What is to commune means? Who said mingle? Thank you. Right? Is to become one. It's one commune to everyone. Where everybody is equal. There is no difference. That's the meaning of community. Okay? To be commune. Okay? That we did not understand. But we're going to understand the importance here of community on the physical first, and then we're going to go into the spiritual part. Okay? And the guys can interrupt me for questions. Research consistently demonstrates that strong communities offer numerous benefits, including improved mental and physical health. What is rising today in our society? Mental illness. What was the mental illness of the 20th century? I'm going to kill you guys. It started with a D. Depression. Depression was the mental illness of the 19th century. What is the mental illness of the 21st century? Anxiety. Anxiety. Who said anxiety? You did? A point for you. Anxiety. Okay? All right, so let's go here. Benefits include improving mental and physical health, increased self-esteem, and a greater sense of belonging. Community involved can lead to more effective problem solving and greater acceptance of solutions. Look at this. This is a study done on the university in California, Stanford. Okay? Everything I took this study was done in Stanford University in California. Everything that you're going to see here. Okay? Nothing to do with spiritism, nothing to do with spiritual books, none of them. Okay? So, mental and physical health. Now, why improve mental and physical health? What is the problem with the mental health today? It's the sense of belonging. They don't belong anywhere. Never.
In the past and the future.
Oh, in the past and the future, we're not even, the present, not even think about it. So that's the first thing here. My wife's family, 70% of my wife's family has mental problems. They are bipolar. Lots of them bipolar in my wife's family. From her grandmother all the way to aunts, nieces, and everything. Okay? And belonging. So she's an expert in that situation, let me tell you. And I kind of got it also a little bit knowledge from the behavior and living in this. And this is the number one. And this what we miss. Okay? Self-esteem, increased self-esteem. Do you know what self-esteem is? You guys understand what self-esteem is? Self-esteem is the recognition that you exist. It's not your worth, like people said. It's for you to understand that you exist, that you are part of something. That's self-esteem. Do you ever see in a high school those loners that sit down there in a corner, those quiet people that we used to call them what? Weirdos, right? Because we do not understand what's going on with them. But I see a lot here in the center. I've been here in the center in the United States for 36 years. And I see people come in and gone. I see people really getting well when they connect to their community. They change their life when they understand what is this here. Not only a Spiritist Center, but a Catholic church, a Presbyterian, whatever you go. The problem is as soon as you walk in a community, you do not understand why you're there. Okay? And we are going to understand today. And then a person, when they understand this, all gets better. Effective problem solving. And what is the biggest problem we have in the world today? What is the biggest one, honey? What is the biggest problem we have in the world today?
Depression. Communication.
Interaction with other people. Respecting others. That's the biggest problem we have on the planet today. Okay? Problem solving here. You're going to start respecting people how they are and understanding how they work. Because you're going to evolve a sense of compassion. And to have compassion is to respect how others is, how they act, and how they choose. Continue. Mental health. Reduce stress and anxiety. Individuals who feel connected to their community tend to experience low level of stress, anxiety, and depression. Why the person feel anxiety? Because they have the fear of the future. Why they feel depression? Because they are attached to actions of the past. Okay? That's what it is. Okay? So when they are in the community doing the work and connect to the community, they are focused here in the community. They are not focused on the future anymore. They are not focused on the past. They are living inside here. Okay? I like to call this here a big mental hospital. That's what I call a center. Because it's full of crazy people. Okay? Yes, it is. Everyone here inside here is a wakadu. All right? It is a wakadu. And you cannot leave a hospital when you are a wakadu. That's why I keep telling you people, but you feel that you don't listen. You listen, but you don't hear. If you want to spend quality time, be in your community as much as possible. Because the energy that generate inside communities are the energy necessary to cleanse your spiritual body, to regenerate the fluid, the supply to your organs and your physical. Okay? Because remember, we are not only physical beings. We are also spiritual beings. Rice and beans, we eat to feed the physical. What do you eat to feed your soul? Huh? What is it? No. What is the food of your soul?
I think it's knowledge.
Knowledge is food for the intellect, physical. What is the food for the soul? Love. That's what it is. And when you're here, what are you exercising in a community? What are you feeding? Your soul. You are getting out of the wakadu world and coming into your sense. And what is the sense? We're going to see. Not passing, not going. Okay. We have a technical problem here. Jana, aqui, você pode ir lá e clicar aqui para mim? Just click reminder later on the first computer. There was a message on the PC for a reboot. Damn Bill Gates, send an update just now. Look at that. Remind me tomorrow. You got it, baby. Here we go. Improve mental health. In strong social networks within a community can help individuals manage their mental health challenges and feel less isolated. Because you are always connected to something. If you have any type of mental health, you should live inside a community. Live. Okay? Get out of the front of the TV. Get out of the front of Netflix watching series. Get out, yes. Get out of places that there is a lots of people, okay, like bars, games, okay? All this until you can manage yourself. And then you can go to bars, and then you can go to all these places. Do you understand? And where you're going to be able to manage this energy. Because if you have any mental health, you go to the doctor, the physical is perfect. Right or wrong? Right. My mother-in-law, for the longest time, she used to go to the hospital in the city called BH. And she used to be there, you know, for weeks, sometimes for months. André Luiz, he used to work at André Luiz Hospital. That's the name in Minas Gerais. It's a Spiritist hospital, right? The name of André Luiz, the thing. And I used to go there, visit her. I mean, the work they do, everything inside there, you can tell me if I'm lying or not. They do mediumship meetings there. They do fraternal work inside the hospital. They do everything inside the hospital. But as soon as you walk inside the hospital, the vibration is so heavy, right? Not only because of the patients, because of the family of the patients also, okay? Because mental health, it not only destroys the person, but it destroys the family and the other family and keep on going. I'm a witness of that. I know. And when the family used to go there, they go with so lower feeling of hope. And that thing was an environment. Because we know what we know. We can't cure mental health, can we? No? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Not with chemicals. But understanding the mental health and give them the right environment, the difference that you can make in person and people like this, it's unspeakable. So if you have any type of mental health, live inside a community, doing work for others. Live there if you want to have some type of life, okay? Increase self-esteem. Engaging in community activities can boost self-esteem, confidence, and overall well-being, okay? Because a person, when he's doing something to others, they feel worth it. They feel they're doing something bigger than themselves. And this is a process that is going automatically fulfill that person that is before was what? Empty. Completely empty. It's not that the person is no good, because the person feels that she doesn't belong anywhere and she's no good for nothing. That's how it is. And after she started exercising this here, everything started engaging. Self-esteem, confidence, overall well-being. This is a process of development when you work inside a community. Physical health, lower blood pressure, okay? And cholesterol. Research suggests that strong communities are associated with lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol levels, and lower risk of obesity. Okay? This won't work for you if you're the president of the community. That is going to high your blood pressure, is going to high everything. I'm just kidding. But this is a research done in a big university. And they saw this, the people that work in a community, and they know why they are going to the community, okay? This happens right in the physical, okay? You know that the United States is the #1 volunteer country in the world? You know that? You didn't know that? Number one in the world. Right? It was a few years. Nah, I don't know. But why? First of all, because the schools started asking for volunteer hours. Do you know when that started? I know, but what year that started? When they did that documentation about the separation, about the church and the state and everything, so they add all this. They took the religion out of the schools, but they put the volunteer work into it, right? To keep some type of spirituality within the schools, right? And that's why it's the number one volunteer country in the world. And it's people do volunteer work on high school, middle school, and they feel good, like you guys said. And when they get older, they remember and they continue doing this work, okay? But volunteer work in the United States is different, okay? It's not like in Brazil. Here, it's like a work. You can get fired, right, and everything. Okay, so we went to do this volunteer work in a hospital on this nursing home. I remember this. It was about 14 years ago. 14 years ago. And this lady interviewed me and said, listen, you sure your crew is going to show up the day they say they're going to show up on a time, and they're never going to miss it? I say, I cannot make sure. So you can't work here. And they told me. Yes, volunteer work, my friend. You are an employee. You just don't get paid. And when you're going to miss, you need to call your boss and say, listen, I'm not going to be able to make it, this and this. And if it's related to, you need to have a certificate that you went to the doctor and everything else. It's not that easy. And it's important. And that's how it's supposed to be. Because people think volunteer work I do when I want. I don't want to be pressured. This is not volunteer work. This is pride. Okay, when we impose things to help others. That's pride. Sorry. Okay? Because you're not putting yourself in the other person's shoes that is suffering. Like, we used to go to this nursing home in Brazil when I was a young, teenager in a center. Our teacher used to go get the teenagers, the youth group, and go into these places, nursing homes in Brazil. And back then, it was in 1985, the nursing homes in Brazil, let me tell you, it's a nightmare, people. It is a horror movie, right? And he used to tell us, listen, we're going to do this work. 2 things you cannot do. You cannot cry, and you cannot wear gloves. And then we'll go into the nursing home. Most of they use us to shower the old people, right? And to move them in a bed. So when you move in a bed, they were all full of scabs attached to the sheets. It was a horror movie. And then I remember, you cannot cry. And you cannot wear gloves to wash them. That was the biggest thing. Because he used to say, if you wear gloves, it's kind of you are disgusted by them, right? And that we used to ask, well, are we going to get sick or not? Listen, you can get sick going out. You can get sick anywhere, but you're not going to get sick washing somebody that needs to be washed. That's what he used to say. And we never wear gloves. We never cry. We used to cry after or cry before getting, because it was terrible. Now I understand, right, what is to be a volunteer worker. And we needed to be there. And it was the 3rd Saturday of every month. If we didn't show up in the 3rd Saturday of every month, we'll take a suspension of 2 months of the events of the center. He was very tough with us. And agree, because people need to take that serious. When you do a volunteer work, when you do a part of the community, okay, it's not only the people, physical, that are counting with you. Also, the spiritual are counting with you. Because they are here on time, okay? If you could see the spiritual world here before the lecture starts, what happened is this. The mentors of the house comes in first, sit down, every day. 1 minute to 8 every day of the lecture. They come in, they sit down, and they watch the lecture every week. And every work in a center that you do, they are part of it, and they never miss it. Because they are part of the community. They are not volunteers. And that's the problem with when you're part of the community. You need to be part of it. You need to understand that you're important. That people are counting for you to be there. Okay? Continue. So we understand this here. Now, improved knowledge and skills. The intellect. Community involved can help citizens develop problem-solving skills and enhancing their knowledge. Okay? On a center, you listen to things that you never heard before, right? Brought by other people, by books, by this. It's like a classroom. So that's why we call a center a school and a hospital. Because here we do both, right? How much knowledge you get when you go to a center, when you go to a study group, when you go to anywhere? A lot. And problem-solving skills. You start using more compassion. Why? Because when you are learning here that compassion is important, that its compassion comes from the heart, when you're outside acting like an animal, you're going to remember, my God, what I learned at my church or my center or my community, that we need to be compassionate. So what you do, you reframe yourself. You turn down the animal inside of you. You observe because you know, you learn here that to be compassionate is the right way to live. Right? But people that are outside that do not have this knowledge, they live in a wild jungle. They live in a survival skills only. Right? They are the people that only think about nation, job, and the family. They are in a survival mode when you think about those three. Because you need to survive for your family, you need to survive for your nation, and you need to survive for your job. Right or wrong? So, you live only with the skills and the instinct of a survivalist. You don't use, like Yonara said here 2 weeks ago. Was 2 weeks ago? Yes. What? 3 weeks? Your feminine energy. Compassion, love, intuition, happiness. This is all feminine energy. Support during crisis. Oh. You know how many people that comes to the center that has nobody here? Do you know we have a book that when I interview people here, I say, listen, you live here? Yes, I do live here. Do you have family here? No. Do you have anybody here? No. The first thing I do is get their contacts in Brazil or wherever they come from. And it happened before. When something happened to them, we contact the family. In Brazil or whatever where they come from, right? So, during crisis, when you have a problem and you cannot solve, you go into the president of the community and say, listen, I'm having this problem. Can you help me? The president is going to go into the groups and going to go to the groups and say, listen, this person needs help. What everybody's going to do? Help. You're going to get out of your survival mode to help somebody that you have no idea who it is. What is this called? Compassion. Is compassion has anything to do with family, work, and nation? No. So you start exercising what? The higher reason. The only reason that we are here. Personal growth. Volunteer and engage in community activities can offer opportunities for personal growth and better understanding how individuals fit in this world. Spiritual community can provide support, comfort, and reassurance, improve relationships. Spirituality fosters a deeper understanding of self and of others, which leads to a greater sense of compassion and empathy. So the only reason you are alive today, you're reincarnated in this God-forsaken planet, it's for this. It's to exercise this here. Compassion is to help no matter who knocks on your door. That's compassion. And then what is empathy? What is empathy? Renato, tell me. Renatoven, come on, tell me. What is empathy? Is to feel as one. To have empathy is to see her as the same as me. That is empathy. And that's the reason why I said in the beginning, do not love this country. Do not love Brazil. Do not love Mexico. Do not love whatever you come from. Because that is not empathy. Empathy is to love what? The whole world. That's empathy. Now, if you love Brazil better than the United States, like I see a lot of people say, oh my God, I miss my country, I want to go back there, blah, blah, blah. Oh, the Americas, the greater countries on the world, oh my God, this. What is this called? Pride. And pride is what? What is pride? Huh? The cancer of the soul. That is pride. Because it works like a cancer. It starts small. And then it started growing, eating you up inside and destroying your spiritual being. Because pride is going to put you on a step that you do not belong to. But you think you belong that because you think you're better than others. You think that your country is better than others. You think your language is better than others. You think your color is better than others. You think that your system is better than others. That's pride. So if you have pride, your cancer is already on your soul. Okay? And that's not my words. That's the words of Allan Kardec. What is the two cancers of humanity? Pride and what? Selfishness is the little daughter of pride. So, when you say that the location you are is better than others, you have no empathy. And in a community, you're going to develop at that. And if that community, you're inside of that community, you are incapable of developing compassion and empathy, you are wasting your time. Your reincarnation is already wasted. You're here just feeding the spot of somebody else. That's exactly what it is. Clear as day. The only reason we are here is to connect to others as one. To develop the sense that you are me and I'm you. That's it. And why we have communities? Because the first community is the family. Okay? The second community is the job. The third community is your country. Okay? And the community that help all other communities is the community that you do your volunteer work. Because inside here, you're going to see people from every nation, from every job, from every family. Do you understand? You didn't learn inside your family because you know how families are, right? You don't learn inside your job. And you don't agree on your country. Right? So we need something more powerful, more deep, for you to understand once and for all that nothing matters. Absolutely nothing matters. Country, job, and family don't matter. What matters is how you see this person. Simple as day. Because one day you're going to die and you're going to be born in Mexico. And if you don't like crossing the border, you're going to experiment crossing the border, because one day you judge people that did cross the border. Or you don't like black people, you're going to be born as black. Right? Because you judge they are not people. Or because you don't like white people, you're going to be born a white. You don't like yellow people, you're going to be born in China. You're going to be moved into different communities. So you learn to respect what? All communities. But here is easier for us. Why? Because we have the power of divine morality pressing on you. What is divine morality, people? Compassion and empathy. Pressing on you 24/7. Because every time you come here, what do you hear? Love one another. Respect one another. Huh? Isn't it? Or no? So, hammer, there, boom, 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 boom. I know it doesn't last long. It lasts in the first red light over here. But it's good. At least you're out and you understand a little more, right? It's going to take another 20,000 years, but it's fine. We are immortals. We're going to live forever, right? We have time. But it will continue pressuring the same message on a community. Because I'm Brazilian, right? One day I went to cut my hair, and I cut my hair with this Honduras guy. And I was cutting my hair. I told this story here before. Sorry if I'm repeating, if you already heard again. But I was cutting my hair, and this Honduras guy, he's magical, let me tell you. He's the best. And he asked me a question, Luigi, why Brazilians don't like Spanish people? And I say, because they're a bunch of idiots. I told him. They're a bunch of fools. I told him. I know this because when I first came to the United States, that's the first thing I learned, that Spanish is not Portuguese. Unbelievable.
Don't mix.
Yeah, don't mix in this. That was the first thing. I'm telling you. Telling you. And I told them straight out, because they have no clue who they are. They're a bunch of fools. I told them straight out. And I told them, Javier, they are not equal. They are very good Brazilian people. Okay? I told them, they are very good. The problem is the people that get out of our country, the majority, they have the king on their belly, and they think they're the king of the world. Okay? But one day we're going to get there. Look at this. And we know, we are Brazilians, right? When somebody comes to speak Spanish, no, I don't talk Spanish. Right? Brazilians? Right? Right? Like the whites in the United States, they don't accept the blacks. Right? Like the Russians, they don't accept the yellows. Like you see where I'm going here? So, analyze what you're doing with your time at night or during the day. Use that time for you. And there are several communities out there. Several. But as soon as you go into a community, you're not going because it makes you feel good. You're not going because it's the right thing to do. You're not going because you want to give. You're not going because you have a lot you want to share. You're not going because you're sorry for those who are suffering. The sole reason you come in here to help others is because you are sharing the suffering that they have with you. You are carrying their suffering just like it was you. So you come to a community to help another because you recognize that that suffering person is also yours. Remember when the long-haired guy 2,000 years ago said, if somebody call you to walk 1 mile, what you do? Walk 2. What did this mean? What does this mean? When somebody tells, no, walk with me here. I need you to share something with you. I need help. No, I'm not going to walk 1 mile. I'm going to walk 2. Yes, because you are me. You are the most important thing in my life. It's not your job. It's not your family. And it's not your nation. It's your neighbor. And that's where you're going to find the most amount of neighbors needing help is where? On a community. And the community was created as another tool for you to find who you really are. Because you are not made of pride. You are not made of fear or anger or indifferences or disrespect to others. You're not. You are solely made by compassion and empathy. Simple as that. But we are expressing this violence towards other people in this world because we forgot who we are and we forgot why we're here. We are not here to evolve, okay? Because we are already divine. We are here to remember that we are all one. Because we lost this. We lost this memory long ago. Long ago. And when you're in a community, I tell you, people that come to talk to me, I say, listen, what do you do at night? Oh, I'm free. Come to the center. What days? Every day. And then they call me a fanatic. Right? I've been called a fanatic. It's fine.
That's it?
I've been called that. But a person doesn't understand that their medicine is in the community, is in this vibrational, on this mixture of energy here. Because as soon as you walk in that door, okay, you know what you leave outside? The violent personality. You started talking slow. Your voice goes low, right? You talk about compassion. You are more respectful. Huh? Understand? Some of them, not as much. But you turn down. You know what this turn down is? It's like you're going in on this big waterfall. You curve yourself when the water comes in because of the vibration of the place. So if you don't want to use your time wisely, be in a community. Okay? It does not matter what they're teaching over there. Because the intellect, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter. Because who here are spiritists? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Yeah? You are? Okay. Yeah. When you're born, were you a spiritist? Were you a what? Catholic? You? Yeah? Okay. What happened to the teachings of Catholicism? Goodbye, so long, farewell, right? That's what's going to happen with the teaching of Spiritism when you die and reincarnate again in another place. If you're born in Iran, you're going to be Muslim. See? So the intellect does not matter. It does not matter. What matters is this. Thank you for your attention tonight. Now I'm going to open a few minutes for you guys to ask questions. Go ahead. Ask questions. Let me, if I have my phone here, I was going to Google the name of the guy.
Is it important to find a community that is on the same vibration of energy or the same ideas, the same concepts? Is it important?
Natalia, I went to a community in South Brazil a few years ago. It was a Satan community. They used to worship Satan. Listen to this. In South Brazil, there was a lot of them. And I also went to a community here in Fort Lauderdale. They were atheists. There was a church, the atheist church in Fort Lauderdale. Okay? Satan, demon, the devil, Beelzebub. What's the other name that they call him? Yeah, the guy that lives there in hell, whatever. The devil. So I went to this community that they worship Satan. They were extremely friendly with everybody. Satan was pissed off in hell, let me tell you, because they were extremely friendly. They asked me if I need help, what do I need, where do you live, we can get a car to get here, do you need a job, this, the same way I treat people here in the center. You see, when we get together, Natalia, automatically we have this to connect to others. It is a safe switch. It is a safe switch to never feel alone, because we're never alone. It's just to get close to somebody, you're already not alone. It does not matter what you believe, what your faith it is. If you're part of a community and you respect them inside there, that's all. I went to the church here, the atheist church. They don't believe in God, they don't believe in nothing, but they have a church. You know what they want? A community. They want to be part of something. Do you know who started the gospel music? Who create the gospel music? Not the chorals in the church. The gospel music. Who created? No. That too. The hippies. They created the gospel church, the gospel music. You know why? Because when the hippie movement dissolved, they found themselves in need of what? Community. They went to the church, and they like to do what? There was a beautiful documentary on Netflix about gospel music, and they tell you the roots. That's what they started. You see? And the people in the 50s or 60s or 70s, they hate the hippies, right? Yep. Right? Everybody hates the hippies. Oh, LSD and this and that, right? But today, there is not a single church that has some gospel music. You see, people. You see what we are. Huh? We are not individuals. We are not individuals. Stop living like an individual. Because individuality is going to separate yourself from the whole. You are the whole. Why you want to be an individual? Huh? What?
You say it's easier.
It's easier.
Yeah.
It's not easy to live alone. It's not. Selfishness.
Different.
You have to get up to your houses. You have to move. See people talk, to be involved. That takes work.
What did I say here? What is the two cancers of the soul? Pride and selfishness.
There you go.
Right? When you're incapable of get up and go help somebody, you are. And it's okay. There is nothing wrong in being selfish. Is your right. But are you okay with that?
some people aren't. Some people are not. It's not able to help.
I don't think some people are.
He's asking you directly.
Any other question? Yes?
The name of the guy, Shane, is Sinclair?
No. He's from Canada, and his name is... Oh, my God. Renato, call Yonara there for me, please. Canada Universalist. Universalist from Canada. Yonara, como é que é o nome daquele universalista canadense? I love them daily. I watch all his videos, all his lectures. You got to see him talk about reincarnation. Woo!
So he's a professor.
She is finding. Meanwhile, I'll take another question. Nick, what is your question? No, you do. Ask me. Do you remember when Martin Luther King went to jail? Everybody remember? Right? Why he went to jail? Because he was breaking the law. Right? But what was his answer for the judge? I serve a higher law. And what higher law is this? Is Joseph? No, not Joseph. Any other questions?
Yeah. So how we can build a better community? How we can get more people to participate? What's missing?
You need to focus on you. You see, you focus on the outside.
Okay.
Don't worry about the community getting more people. Worry about yourself being in a community. That's it. As soon as you start focusing outside, getting mad at people, they don't show up, they don't do the work like I do, you understand? That's a problem. Silence and do your thing. Can't find it? Oh, I'm gonna leave you guys then. Maybe I'll do a research there and I'll find it later. Any other questions? No? Okay, so.
I am Stevenson? No.
I'm sorry?
I am Stevenson?
No. He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Leo, question? No? All right. So let's thank you for attention today. And we're going to meditate. We're going to meditate a few minutes in what we talked here today. And I want you guys to remember what I say, not all, but the most important part, and ask yourself if made sense. Close your eyes. You can close your eyes. Close your eyes. And see if you agree or not. And you're not here to judge what you felt, what you're feeling. I just want you to meditate a little bit, close your eyes, and let's sink in what I said and see if it resonates with you or not. And it's okay if it doesn't. All right. I thank you for your presence tonight. I thank you for being here tonight. And I'm going to put it here, the announcements. Can you do the announcement or want me to do it? Yeah? Okay, let me go put it in. Thank you very much for your attention today.
That was very good. So, reminders, right? We have our Festa Junina. It's June 7th, and we are accepting cash donations and people who wants to cook and typical food donations. And that's June 7th. Spiritual talks. Public meetings in English on Wednesdays at 8:15 p.m. Channel messages. If you want the channel messages, come here, arrive by 8:10. Give the message. There is a piece of paper at the library. Depending on the number of people working here, you might be able to get one. But arrive at 8:15. Fluid therapy. Magnetized water every Wednesday at 8:15 p.m. Just put the water over here, and after the passes, you can grab some. We also have fraternal meetings, welcome treatment at distance.